about age, religion, sex, whatever, orientation. Everybody has a job to do. Nobody gets a chicken in a pot without working. And so when you don't have that investment, then once again, should business pay for a moral issue, or is it an ethical issue? And
Good
I'd like to
question.
hear our listeners. I'd like to hear them check in on this. So in your opinion, email us. What is your opinion on it? Is what's happening in Seattle ethical, or is it a moral issue? Should business pay for our moral issues or our problems of society? Should a business be taxed additional because maybe they're larger? Or should just the small businesses be taxed?
Well, there's a balance that I would like to figure out how they figured out, because when you listen to the interviews, it's just going to be the big guys in Seattle are going to be paying this. So that means that they have an adjustment tax levy or something, that if you're a mom and pop grocery store, you don't pay as much as Amazon's going to pay. And let's look at the after effects of all this. If it is voted through, do you think that big companies like Boeing and Amazon and some of the big tycoons in Seattle, do you think they're going to just sit there and let this go by? Or do you think they're going to figure out how to downsize and move?
Well, looking at my shareholders, and remember, I'm accountable to what I promised my shareholders, right? So ethically, I would start looking for ways to being able to move on. And I think that's why for the first time, you don't hear any political yak from Amazon, because in business we're here to draw bridges, not lines,
right?
And so it had to have impacted them quite a bit for them to come out and basically halt construction, halt everything. 8,000 jobs are on the line here, and I think it's a much bigger issue. He has, that company has weight and power to be able to do that, but I haven't seen what numbers. At what point are you considered a big business? At what point?
Well, that's very true. But we've gone through this in Seattle for years and years and years. In 1963, I believe it was, Boeing went on strike, and the effects of that, and every time they've gone on strike, has hit the economy of Seattle. Then all of a sudden, their headquarters moves out of town. Doesn't that kind of give you a feeling that slowly massive companies are sitting down thinking, wow, if this growth continues and the taxes continue and this theory of how Seattle should be run and how we're going to do things is not profitable for us, would they not be thinking, okay, piece by piece, we're just going to move out of their jurisdiction? Boeing's is spread all over the place.
Yeah, they are now. I remember as a little child, the billboards. I know, shocking. But do you remember those billboards that says when Boeing leaves, turn out the lights?
Lights, yes, I certainly do.
I remember those billboards.
I certainly do. And it was a big deal. And it has been on every major strike when they've gone through labor problems or major growth problems. Boeing has always come right out and said, hey, we have to survive too. How many planes and jobs did we ship to Wichita, Kansas, for an example?
A lot. A lot. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but a lot.
But they just got up and moved.
Well, look at Weyerhaeuser.
That's another good example.
Weyerhaeuser, I mean, they just want to have a shell office in a sense here. I mean,
that's all it is. It was the headquarters. Now it's just a restroom. Well, I call it a restroom anyway, but hooked to an office. That's all it's left. And that was fundamentally companies that were started here by individuals that believed in their communities, that had ethics and wanted their communities to survive and grow.
Well, wasn't there even Dick's Drive-In? The owner of Dick's Drive-In, didn't he?
He was on television.
There was a good debate that went on with that.
I don't know if he's the owner, or I know he's a family member,
okay,
and he's somewhere in the line of ownership. But yes, he came right out and made it very, very clear that small business can't do this with a head tax. And then he also stated that if it's voted through, and we'll see if he stays with his word or not, there will be no other Dick's drive-ins built in King County. Well, simple as that.
So once again, we the people are being robbed.
Well, basically,
Dick's
I think
makes a great burger. Have you been by?
I've eaten them before, and they're just extremely good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Anytime you're in Seattle, you got to stop at Dick's. There's no doubt. But I think that reflects, like a mirror, reflects back on what effect this is going to have on business in Seattle. And look we've had gun tax. They increased the tax on guns. So what did a bunch of the gun dealers do? They moved outside the city limits of Seattle, of course, to avoid the tax. They're just little brick and mortar stores. But if they have the idea, and the same with the pop dealers, if they have those ideas, the big business is thinking the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's not going to be. Well, Candace, we're just about running out of time. Once again, we get to the point of the show where I had to put on earmuffs and go hide somewhere because you unfortunately have the last word and our ratings just go down the tubes. But
you mean they're increasing?
So go ahead. Let's talk a little bit also about what's coming up with Wild Child and the classes and stuff coming up.
Well, I want everyone to mark their calendars at the Wild Child Training Center. The 12 core business pillars, Wednesday, May 23rd. It's from 1 to 4 is being held. In June, we're discussing niche markets. That's June 27th. If you're interested, please give us a call at 253-961-7525. And again, I want folks to mark their calendar because June 8th from 1 to 5, we are having an open house here at the Wild Child Training Center. And if you're wanting more information,
does Roger know about this open house for Pete's sake?
Our roosters here, we have two.
Oh, actually. We have two now. Roger
the other
has
one's Leroy.
Leroy and Roger. They're the valets out in front. They'll be right there to park your car.
Absolutely. So if you're needing directions or anything like that, just give us a call. Send us an email at Candace, Candace, at WLDCHILDGRP.com. That is Candace at wildchildgroup.com. And if you're looking for us on the web, our website is under construction. So we're excited. We can't hardly wait to launch our new site. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? It'll be up in about 30 days. So
that's great. Then those guys with the jackhammers and the trucks will move away from the front door out of here. And
as they're directing traffic.
As they're directing traffic, yeah. That's great.
It.
You can also find us on keepussmiling.com. In the meantime, we'll be posting some of the information that you just heard about from Candace until her construction site is cleaned out and the new building is built. Oh, I mean the website, excuse me. It's very, very great to have you with us, Candace, today. I think we've hit some really good information. I think the show, I hope, will get everybody just to sit down, have a cup of coffee, and start a discussion. That's how we get things actually done in our communities, is simply by discussing them. So until we get an opportunity to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you again and meet with you, this is Bill.
This is Candace.
Have a great day.
Oh, and I thought we were going to say keep us smiling.
Well, you did. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time around.